We need you to tell us everything that you know about V1.
You mean the first generation V?
The final season of The Boys is heating up like Homelanders' eyes. The secret is out, the chase is on, and the good guys need to start fending for their lives every passing second, instead of every passing minute like they used to. At the end of episode 2, we were given the reason behind Homelanders' decision to track and consume V1, and episode 3 will begin that journey in blood and bone, based on the trailer Amazon has released. So without further ado, let's get into our breakdown for it. This is The Boys Season 5, Episode 3 Trailer Explained.
A reckoning is coming.
The cracks are starting to appear. The trailer begins with the boys entering a warehouse. The voiceover has Annie saying, "We need you to tell us everything you know about V1. And we'll get to who you is in just a moment. If you look closely, the team that arrives is short one member. We see Starlight, Kimiko, Frenchie, and Huey, but Butcher is nowhere to be found. That's because he's off to another mission, or because he's babysitting Dr. Samir, who will definitely be asked to enhance the soup-killing virus once more now that V1 is in the picture. But the most likely reason he isn't there is because the cracks in the boys are already starting to appear. In episode 2, he was the only one who was chuffed about the virus working because it meant that his dream of a global soup genocide could now become a reality. But Frenchie told Kimiko that they should run away to a remote island because the virus works too well and he can't develop a counteracting agent like he thought he could. In this trailer, we see Frenchie cocking his pistol and aiming it at someone with Kimiko by his side, and then we get a shot of Butcher. While it's possible that those two scenes aren't connected, Smart Money says they are, because Frenchie and Kimiko's relationship is as solid as rock hard used to be. Rest in peace. Everyone knows what Butcher's intentions are with the virus, so now that it's ineffective on their main target, he'll be scrambling for options. Butcher is the only one who will be going full steam ahead with his plan to kill all soups, and it looks like the rest of the team wants to get the jump on him by approaching the one man who knows all about V1. Thing is, he also has a reason to hate the boys and a weapon that he can now deploy pretty much at will. Surviving Zoe. The person Annie asks for all that information on V1 is none other than Stan Edgar, which makes complete sense. Edgar worked his way up the ranks of Vought and became CEO because he knew everything there was to know about the company. Stanny Boy clearly has more intel on him than he's letting on, but you know what he also has? A granddaughter who hates every single person in Butcher's team. Him especially. This could also be one of the reasons why he didn't join the rest of the team on their visit to Mr. Edgar, because everyone knows that Zoe is Stan's muscle. And Annie would know how powerful she's become from her exploits in Gen V, which would have been relayed to her by Marie Moreau and her team. There's no point antagonizing a person of interest when you need information from them, but it doesn't look like Stan Edgar is in a particularly chatty mood, because later in the trailer we see him barricading himself behind a reinforced door. And we also see Zoe standing with her mouth tentacles out on the exact same spot where he was when Starlight asked him about V1. All this leads us to one logical conclusion: Stan Edgar is about to set his granddaughter loose on the people that were complicit in her mother's demise, and the results could get ugly. Sure, Zoe can't reach Butcher, but Huey, Annie, Frenchie, Mother's Milk, and Kimiko are guilty by association, and Edgar has been raising her as a killer, not only to protect himself, but to assassinate those who hurt his interests as well. The question is, what does he have that makes him think he can be safe in a world that's quickly devolving into mayhem and anarchy, apart from his bunker? We suppose we'll find out in episode 3, because this trailer doesn't give us any indications towards his future plans. But it does tell us that the boys are going to play a deadly game of surviving Zoe, which they just might, because A, they're not going to kill a child, and B, Dognot and Cindy attack. We see later on in this trailer that Dognot and Cindy are on the hunt for the boys, and that makes sense considering that they just tested a virus that can kill most soups. Plus, they went after Homelander's daddy, so he's going to want retribution. As much as he says he doesn't care about familial connections, Dognot is Vought's best tracker by far, and Cindy is an Omega level soup, as you might know from our video on Omega level soups. So really, they're the perfect combination to take out the boys. And it looks like the place where they're doing this taking out is one of the Legend's many bachelor pads. Why are we bringing him up? Well, if Stan Edgar isn't going to give the boys intel, then their only remaining source is the Legend. And we know by now that that gaudy golden filter on the room in which Dognot and Cindy attacked him is the visual language for the homes of the rich and affluent in the series. Unless, of course, they return to the Kicks mansion for some reason, or this is another location altogether. Regardless of that, we think it's safe to say that the showdown between Dognot and Cindy and Starlight and Kimiko is going to have a casualty of some kind, because we see Dognot ragdolling Huey and through the air, and Cindy closing her hands to kill someone with her telekinetic abilities. We also see Annie on the verge of a breakdown right after that hand clasp of doom, so it makes us think that the person who gets affected by her powers will either be Huey or Kimiko, considering she's the closest to them. Sage exposed Homelanders' reckoning. Our first glimpse of Homie in this trailer comes from the shot where he executes a superhero landing outside of his own room, which is being redecorated in his image. Literally. Homelander's voiceover in the trailer talks about 3 things that he wants to accomplish. He wants to give someone a second chance. He wants what is rightfully his, with or without the person he was referring to earlier, presumably. And he warns us that a reckoning is coming. That first statement feels like it's directed towards his acquisition of V1, which makes total sense. In episode 2, he tells Soldier Boy that he is Vought. So technically, the original recipe for Compound V should also belong to him. But then he talks about giving someone a second chance, and the trailer shows us Sister Sage. Now that tracks in a way because we've been speculating that Sage is in cahoots with Butcher after the stuff that went down in God U. She's also highly cognizant of the fact that Homelander grows more unstable by the second, and Butcher is the only guy who is motivated enough to take him off the chessboard permanently. We also get a split-second shot of Firecracker toting her Freedom Magnum, and that smile on her face is the same one she wore when she outsmarted Sage and ousted her from Homelander's inner circle in Season 4. It could also be the Deep, who knew where A-Train's family was in Episode 1 but chose not to pursue them because he's lazy, fame-obsessed, and selling perineum-stunning machines to boot. But the mystery of who Homelander has been punching in the trailers will also be solved next episode, because that was the highlight of this trailer. So it makes us think that the person he'll be giving a second chance to is actually Ryan. We know Ryan's been on the run ever since he figured out his dad's actually a murderous maniac. Vought agents were pursuing him in every promo released before the season aired, and the background of that punching scene looks to be an abandoned Vought arcade type of location, because we can clearly see a Planet Homelander banner behind Homelander himself. Plus, if anyone is going to survive that beatdown from him, it's the one person who carries his blood in his veins. So the second chance could be for Ryan as well. However, it all culminates in the same thing, which is Homie putting out a reckoning notice for the world, because we're finally about to see what that Christ kneeling pose is all about. It will happen in episode 3 based on this trailer, and we can't wait to see the full context behind that. But yes, to sum it all up, these are the things we can definitely tell you guys about Season 5, Episode 3 from that 20-second clip. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content on the Boys universe. This might be your last time to see it in real time, and you won't want to miss out on the stuff that we've got. We'll see you guys soon with yet another video. So until then, stay safe and have a good one.